in New Hampshire to fight against electronic voting machine fraud and voter fraud. Marylyn Todd is the founder of New Hampshire Voter Integrity Group. And she went to a meeting with her family. And by the way, I'm going to prove it to you that she did not intend to harm anybody. She went with her husband and her child to a meeting. And what happened right in the middle of that meeting? I'm going to let her tell the story. I'm so upset by this because, first of all, I love Marylyn Todd. We've met her in person. I've hugged her less times than I would like. I would like to just spend a week with her and Deb and our friends and family and just hug Marylyn Todd because we love her so much. She's such a great American patriot. She's smiling right now, hopefully. But she joins me. Marylyn notified me. Marylyn, you notified me, within hours after you were arrested. Tell everybody, I'm going to strip this video and show them a copy of it, but I want you to describe, what type of meeting you went to and what happened at that meeting here within the past 24 hours?
24, yep, a little over 24 hours ago, yeah. So basically, we went to an executive council meeting. And so our governor met with the executive council regarding a vaccine mandate bribe, is what we're calling it. So basically, the feds wanted to give New Hampshire $27 million. And part of that contract basically stated that if the unvaccinated, if the government decided that the unvaccinated needed to be quarantined, then by accepting this money, the state of New Hampshire had to quarantine the unvaccinated into a FEMA camp. So we told the New Hampshire government that we didn't want our money back because it's essentially our money to begin with, right? So we said to keep that money, we don't want it. And so the first meeting I wasn't there at, and that got shut down. And Governor Sununu basically decided that he was going to stop the meeting and that he was going to proceed at a different location. So at the different location, he decided to be at a police academy. So, and that was for intimidation. And then, so this meeting, there was, again, a bunch of people that showed up and we showed up, there was a lot of kids there, a lot of different people, young and old, just people that didn't want the vaccine mandate and didn't want to give up our sovereignty. So we were there for about 2 hours and, we got in trouble for singing the Pledge of Allegiance too loud. Governor Sununu literally got mad at us for singing the Pledge of Allegiance too loud. It was disruptive, sorry. And
singing the national anthem?
No, sorry, saying the Pledge of Allegiance.
Saying the pledge.
We start the meeting by saying the Pledge of Allegiance, and supposedly because we were saying it too loud, we were being disruptive. So now saying the Pledge of Allegiance is disruptive according to King Sununu.
Wow. So, all right, so the meeting progresses here. They're upset that the Pledge of Allegiance was said too loud. Tell us what happened that led up to what happened to you.
So then they continued, they were just trying to manipulate each other because Sununu wanted the money so bad, and so did the only Democrat executive counselor that we had. So it was our Republican governor siding with the only Democrat executive counselor. So it was a 4-1 vote, and Sununu was not happy about that. So 10 minutes before the meeting got over, sorry, I just got distracted. I'm in the meeting. All right. Riley.
That's okay. Don't worry about it.
Can I just pause this real quick? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Absolutely. We are. We're doing fine. Don't worry about it. Take care of what you need to take care of.
Meeting, please. Okay. Sorry, Pete.
That's okay. That's okay. Kids. We love that. Do you have dogs? Bring the dogs in. Get them to bark. We're steak and potatoes here on the Pete and Tilly Show.
So 10 minutes before the meeting was over, they decided to, so 10 minutes before the meeting was over, they started filling in the aisles with state troopers. And sorry, I got distracted. So they started filling the aisles with state troopers, and you can feel the tension in the room just grow. And it was starting to get really uncomfortable. And I knew something was going on. Something in my body just told me that there was something like that was going to happen. So then all of a sudden, I see them remove the 2 leaders of the vaccine protest. So they basically, walked to the back of the room with them, because basically it was a gymnasium and it was separated by a screen, those gym screens. So that's what it was separated by, like a divider. And so on the other side of the screen was a room bigger than the one we were in. So all the people outside that weren't able to come in could have attended, but they decided to fill that with a bunch of state troopers instead of we the people that wanted to be in at that meeting. So anyways, so all we hear is we're getting arrested because Therese had 2 kids. So that's one of the people that they ended up taking that was one of the vaccine leaders to this movement. And so she wanted someone to know that she was getting arrested because they literally just tried to silently do it. So when I thought they were getting kicked out, I thought it was ridiculous, but I was there with my kid. There was, it was already intimidating as it was. And it was like, okay, so it's stupid that they weren't allowed to stay. But then when she said that she was arrested, I was like, are you kidding me? Like, they literally did nothing wrong. And I just have never been the type of person that can sit there and let innocent people get in trouble for things that they didn't do or something that was wrong. I can't sit there and watch wrong happen in front of my face, right? So I said, why are you arresting them? Why are you arresting them? And so after I said that, my husband said, why are you arresting them? So then they went after my husband, and my husband like moved his arms, and there was like 4 or 5, I don't even know. It felt like a million state troopers around him. And I thought they were going to take him down, Pete. And it literally really scared me because I had my sons in my arms, and all I could think of is this 4-year-old, and he just turned 4 on September 21st. So he's barely 4. And is going to see his daddy be taken down while we're at a meeting in front of him. And I didn't want that to happen. So I said to my husband, I said, you need to just go. Your son's sitting right here. Please just go. So he went. And then I cried out and I said, I can't believe you just did that to my son. And then they arrested me. And then, so as I'm out back.
Why did they arrest you? Why did they say they were arresting you?
Disorderly conduct. They honestly, that's a whole, I'll tell you about the end of the story.
Okay.
I still don't have paperwork on it. I still don't have any paperwork from the sheriff's office, but so then I'm out back, Pete, and I'm where all the Paddy Wagons are. Like, they were literally ready to arrest that whole entire room. Like, they were prepared. They had all the cops behind that screen. They had 5 Paddy Wagons already lined up, ready to take us. Like, it was crazy. So as I get out there, all of a sudden they bring out a 70-year-old woman.
Right now, a lot of us need insurance.
I'm sorry about that.
Oh, sorry. They brought out a 70-year-old woman and started manhandling her in front of my son. And I said to the police officer, I cried out and I said, what are you doing? My son can't see this. So I took him around to because one of the Paddy Wagons were parked at an angle. So I could put him behind the Paddy Wagon and I could record at the same time because I really wanted to get it on recording. So the cop, as you could tell, was moving himself all over the place so that I couldn't record him. And I sent Ashley that, right?
Yeah, the video.
Okay.
I'm working on that right now. In fact.
Okay.
Yep.
I just wanted to make sure you had it. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So then anyways, the cops moving around, and then they're still wondering if I'm getting arrested. You can hear it on the tape. They're like, is she arrested? They're like, we don't know. And then all of a sudden they come out and they're like, yep, they got their orders, right? Yep, she's arrested. And so then I complied. I put my hands behind my back. My son was with me this whole time up until this point. And then, so 10 minutes after, I was in handcuffs with my hands behind my back, with my son sitting right next to me, they took my son and I couldn't see him. I didn't know where he was. I was like, what are you doing with my kid? Because I didn't want them to call DCYF because I already knew I had people that would come get him. I didn't want him going anywhere else, So, so then I didn't know that they were taking him for a photo op. So come to find out today, I just realized that they were taking him to the front of the building where everybody was already mad at these troopers, mind you. There was about 200 people outside of this police academy, Pete, and they were all pissed off that 9 people just got arrested for no reason. So that's where they decided to take my kid. And then they decided to put him behind, next to a police car, a police officer, a state trooper that wasn't even paying attention to him, was completely turned at a 180. Basically it was done for a photo op. But then, so basically what they were trying to say is that it's more dangerous. I mean, that he was safer with that cop in a parking lot with no one paying attention to him, as opposed to with me, who they were wrongfully arresting. And they put my son in danger. And I'm so upset about that, Pete. So upset about them putting my son in danger. And
in this video, where is it that I have on the screen? Where is your arrest? Do you have a time marker for it?
All right. So if you go to 5 minutes and 50 seconds.
Okay.
So if you go to 3 minutes, you'll see we stood with our backs to them like we did in Wyndham. And Governor Sununu was not happy. 3 minutes. Look how uncomfortable he looks. He's texting. It's a setup. He's smiling. Like you'll see him shake his head and nod his head. And if you listen to the video, you can clear. Do you want me to be quiet?
No.
Actually, no. So
No.
if you listen to the video, he doesn't say anything. So he's like setting it up, and you'll notice that. So then go to, yep. So you see us with all of our backs towards him. So he's so mad at us. So this is like the Wyndham incident. And then if you go to 5 minutes is when the arrest starts happening. And so see them lining up the way I described. They're lining up the aisles.
Yeah.
Make the accommodations for those setup places. That's what most companies that are private companies do.
So you would rather see their setup cost integrated?
Do the service.
So then they walk over to this couple. You'll see them walk over to this couple, and they're going to grab them. Or did they already grab them? Oh, you're missing it. So if you go back to like, are they already missing? Anyways, yep. So those are the two people that they took out for absolutely no reason, no reason at all. So then you wait a few seconds, like the 15-second click. No, so at 15 seconds, that's when you'll hear them yell out, "We're being arrested! We're being arrested!"
That you would do it, you would try to integrate that, but
No, I agree. I think that the impression that we were under during the initial conversation was that the council had a problem with paying money upfront before they started the contract. So the way we strategized.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
We
I want to see it.
pay for those startup fees themselves and invoice them to us either.
okay, we're gonna take a pause here.
And there you are right there, right? And that's your husband.
Yeah, I was so scared in that moment. Look how many cops You're gonna want to keep walking.
They didn't do anything. They did nothing. They were sitting there. They did nothing. They just came and jumped them. They did nothing. They took a I didn't go in and say, "What are you doing?" I didn't go in.
He does nothing. And that's what they use. He literally did nothing, and that's what they use. Look at all the shock in their face.
We want to see it an even different way.
And he just pretends like nothing's happening.
A lot of contracts do this way. That's on me. I thought we were taking right there, and just making sure.
Wow.
But they don't stop there. And that's when my son sees her manhandled. Look at the shock in people's faces. Like they just don't even they can't even believe it.
Wow.
Or subsequent invoices, we can do that, but I don't think a lot of companies are going to purchase hardware.
He's so satisfied. Look at him drinking his coffee like Kermit the Frog. He makes me like minding his own business. He just literally committed coercion. New Hampshire's not happy about this. No one in New Hampshire is happy about this.
She did nothing.
Commissioner Goulet would probably tell us that with respect to all sorts of IT contracts. And I think the risk of advancing money up front is that we could advance money and then never get the product. But in
then
this case,
I think that's
what the
that's when they arrest that girl. Yeah, literally sitting there. She does nothing.
Not advancing money. They are actually incurring costs. And then
Why did they pull that lady out?
Because they felt like it. So I have a news article that I'm going to send you, and basically someone on the Greenwich Rock wrote a timestamp of when you have to watch for Chris and Nunu. This was very pre-planned, 100%. There's no doubt in my mind that was pre-planned. He nods to people, he texts. He literally was so mad because the minute we sat down from turning our backs to them is when he arrested those two vaccines. So all the leaders, like I'm doing mind you, I just canvassed, well, my group just canvassed Waterville Valley, right? And they just found a lot of bad things. They also canvassed Rye, and they also, and we also canvassed Rye, which they developed a lot of bad things. It's just so.
So what is this that we're seeing here from this article?
Sorry, I thought that was the one that I posted when we're out back. There's one that I sent. Did I send it to Ashley?
No, that's okay. Tell me about it. Yep. So
we're out back, and we're out back, and they manhandle that 70-year-old woman. They throw her to the ground in front of my 4-year-old, and they don't. There's no humanity, Steve. Sorry, Pete.
That's okay. That's right.
There's no humanity.
What
There's
the-
just
This is just, I mean, I say it's strange to me. I mean, obviously, you did not intend to bring any harm to anybody. You didn't even intend to be going to a vigorous protest. You brought your son, right?
Yep,
Is that correct?
correct.
But Sununu, you're saying, wanted to just show his power and force over the minions? Is that?
He was mad that we got the executive, because the executive council always agrees with him. So he was basically mad that he knew he wasn't going to, he knew that we demanded so much from them that they were going to commit political suicide if they voted in agreement with Sununu. So he knew he was going to lose, and he didn't want those two, in my opinion, he didn't want those two people to see the victory because they ended up voting it down. And literally we were there for 2 hours. There was only 10 more minutes after we all got arrested before they voted on that.
Yeah, and that's what you're
So that
referring to
happened
as
in the
far as
last
him,
10 minutes.
him signaling. Okay, now what happened when you got arrested as well? Because you were asking them questions about why your husband got arrested. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, and what happened?
And so we were separated. So the 9 of us got arrested in total. And I went to a different jail because I was with Dean. So Dean literally sat after they did the photo op. The cop put him in the back of the cop car. I was handcuffed with my son. So we drove and.
Were you with your son? Were you taken from your son?
No, just for a photo op. So they could so they could have a photo opportunity. They took my son for just for a photo op, and then they gave him back to me.
You got to be kidding me.
Not even joking. So they put him back in the cop car with me. So he's sitting in the back of the cop car. Mommy's handcuffed in the front. We're, just driving to a different police station. We went to a different police station than everybody else. What
were you telling your son?
I told him I was sorry. So,
Jeez.
I just felt so bad.
So
And
terrible.
I was telling the cop, I said to the state trooper, and I wish I knew the difference in the uniforms, because I heard that the state troopers were the ones that were arresting us and the sheriffs were the one transporting us. But I was transported by a car and they were transported by a Paddy Wagon. So I don't know if this guy was a state trooper or a sheriff.
Yeah.
But he literally said, "I'm not the arresting officer." And I said, "You have me in handcuffs in the backseat of the car with my son." I said, "What you guys are doing is wrong. You know it's wrong. You shouldn't have abided by those unlawful orders." I said, my son ran down that aisle of cops, because there was an aisle of cops when he first came in, and he gave them all high fives and thanked them for their service. And then, they did a photo op with him to make sure that he wasn't the crying kid that was taken away from his mother, right? Put him in a police car with sirens and all this other stuff, because obviously all little boys like that stuff. And then he came back with me, and then we went to the jail. So we sat in a room where it wasn't a prison cell, but it was where, when you sit in a bench and they're I don't know, it had a bench.
It's like a booking area. Yeah.
So yeah, so it's a holding area. So that's where I sat with my son until we got bailed out, which seemed like forever. I'm so bad with
You were
time.
sitting with your son in the booking area in handcuffs.
Stayed with my son. No, they took the handcuffs off by then.
No, but you're in handcuffs and you're with your son.
In the car, yep.
This is crazy. This is crazy. All because Sununu wanted to show his power over the people inside the room. So what's your is this going to silence you?
No.
Okay. Have they charged you?
So that's the weird part, is I have bail bondsman paperwork, but I don't have anything from the sheriff and or the state troopers. So basically what they said is, because he wasn't the arresting officer, he didn't feel comfortable putting his name on my paperwork.
That's right. Right now, has anybody told you what you were thrown in handcuffs for? Did they say you are being arrested for the following reason?
No.
You weren't disorderly?
No.
Okay, then do me a favor. Excuse the expression. Can you sue their asses?
A lot more now. They're using my 4-year-old son as a political weapon.
Wow.
The newspaper published, who's always on the side of, King Sununu, and they literally published 7 pictures of my son, and by name. They got his name wrong, but they still, called him by name and put.
Did you call them? Did you call them and tell them to take it down?
Yep, I did. And what they told me, that I did this to myself and that he was in a public place. I said he was not in a public place. He was supposed to be, after I was arrested, I never gave permission for him to be in a public place. They used that as a photo opportunity. Who has a professional photographer just randomly show up in the back of the building?
You know, let's get their names.
Where all the people are going to be.
Let's get their names. Let's follow them and their family members when they're in a public place, and we're going to put all of their kids on blast. How about that? And say, oh, he's in a public place.
I said to the guy, I said, where's your humanity?
I don't want to do that, obviously, but I'm just saying, what if we were to do that to them? Which we don't, right? That's crazy.
I said, where's your humanity, Pete? I literally said, where's your humanity to the man? I said, my son is innocent. I said, you know for a fact that I've been fighting election fraud. I said, you know for a fact that you're putting even more of a target on my son. And he said, you did this to yourself. You were in a public place. And I just couldn't even believe it. And I think I even called Ashley and I was.
Did what to yourself? What did you do to yourself? Did what? Did you ask them that?
I was very mad and told him he's in a lot of trouble.
do you have that article where your son is published? Do you have that article?
I do.
Okay. And you have the author of that article?
I do.
Okay, good. Do me a favor. Get me that information. I'm not going to put it on the screen. I'm going to deal with it off the air. But, you know, I'm going to do some investigative work. Let's put it that way. Okay. Yeah, very appropriately, lawfully, of course.
Yes.
But these people need to be held to account. This is vicious. Do you have an attorney out there?
So there's a bunch of attorneys. I haven't been able to, I've talked to my attorney from when they arrested me for trespassing at City Hall for getting my town's machine tapes. So I talked to him. So this is just a normal ordeal for them. And I've only been arrested twice. And this is my, since March, so this is my second arrest. And this is, a lot of the people that were arrested, it was their first time ever getting arrested. I think most of them was their first time getting arrested.
Yeah. Yeah. Stay strong, Marylyn.
I will.
Stay strong. You're being targeted. State troopers, that's the army of any governor. But there's a way to respond with an equal and opposite force of America. Okay. When is this guy's next public meeting? We need to quadruple down. We need to bring thousands of people to these meetings and be loud and vigorous. You guys were peaceful. All right. Next time, it's not going to be that quiet. Okay.
You want to hear something crazy?
Let's hear it.
I got out of jail. There was an eagle soaring over my head. Isn't that
really
crazy? I swear.
That's so appropriate for you.
I looked outside and I was like, you have to be kidding me.
Yeah, are you kidding me? No, that's who you are. And I'm not going to tell you how to raise your son. And I've never been in I have been in a position like that, but my daughters were older when stuff happened to me. But at 4 years old, you're going to have to, what you're doing right now is for him. Everything that you've been doing as far as election integrity has been for him. You told me that the last time that we got together. So you're going to have to coach him through and say, this is what's going on. This is very wrong. And I'm going to have to, I'm going to take a stand. What happened was very wrong. What you just saw, and I couldn't explain it to you. But, we as a family are going to fight through this thing. You need to fight back on this thing hard. Oh, yeah. Get a New Hampshire
I think we have
attorney.
the motivation. We're calling for Sununu's resignation. We want his phone records and we want his resignation. And if he doesn't resign, we want our legislators to start the process of help me out here, Pete.
Start the process. Actually, you know what I want to do?
The
I want
process to get him out.
Yeah. To have him removed from office. You know what? I want to do FOIA requests, find out why they had that many police officers present. Why would you have that many police officers present at an event like this? Right? Why would you? I want to see all the email correspondence, all the pre-planning for this particular meeting. Was there a threat assessment that was done? Was there a reason why they had that many? I want to see this communication between, their partners at the federal level, like the FBI, who has already been told by Merrick Garland, right, that you guys are all domestic terrorists. They go out and you're present at meetings like this. We need to, like, all hands on deck on this thing. This is crazy. Yeah. If we don't, this is going to set precedents. Can you imagine any meeting that takes place in the United States of America? People are going to be threatened and intimidated like this under threat of arrest to go redress grievance of your government and your governor, right?
Yep.
Wow, this is crazy.
That I didn't go to the first meeting because that I've been focusing on election stuff. So the first meeting, there was some yelling, so I will say that. Do I think it is as crazy as the media made it out to be? Absolutely not. However, so I will disclose that. So there, and that and that was the first meeting that. And so
protests are very inconvenient and sometimes loud, and they need to be louder and more inconvenient.
Yeah.
And disrupting tyranny is a beautiful thing. Absolutely.
Yes.
Is it disruptive? Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I'm coming with a big bucket of disruption. I'm thinking of going to New Hampshire meetings. Right?
Yeah.
You know I would, Deb, right? Can we go to New Hampshire, please?
You should come.
Oh, man.
That would be amazing.
So when is the next time? Is this a done deal? They're going to take the money and run? Sununu
No, Pete, it was beautiful. They all 4 Republicans denied it.
4-1. Yeah, that's right.
4-1.
Yeah, that's great. Oh, you have to get an attorney. If you find that you're having a tough time getting an attorney to represent you, let me know. We have a network of attorneys right now that are stretched thin right now, just fighting, health freedom issues, fighting election issues. But this thing that's going on with these meetings is definitely tied to what Merrick Garland said, that we, the people, can't go to these. This is CCP-styled treatment of citizenry, and it must stop. And I'm going to even say this. They want to escalate this thing. They want to keep doing it. We'll bring thousands more and thousands more, And then what they're going to do, sadly, is they're going to start shooting people.
I know.
You need to know this. This is what they have guns. All right. Right now, they're just using force and intimidation. I've watched them do it. We had a group of people in 2016 that traveled with laptops and PowerPoint projectors to go teach the Constitution. They were ambushed, and Lavoy Finicum was shot and killed. They're going to do this. These tyrants are out of control. But I think with numbers we can avoid that level of violence. I really, really want to do that. But can you imagine? I mean, these guys have guns and badges.
Yeah.
What do you think they're going to do with them?
And
they're not going to set them aside.
That's what they say. Huh? Just following orders, Pete. That's what they all said.
Just following orders, they're saying, huh? Yeah, you sure are. Okay, Marylyn, listen. Promise me we're going to talk this weekend. Promise me.
I promise.
We have to. Okay.
I promise.
Too much time passes. We've been traveling. We're all over the place.
I know.
We're super busy. I know you are. One final comment before I let you go. What is the? Oh man, I keep going back to my Harry Hursty video.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, that guy. What's the status of the election fraud stuff in New Hampshire? Is there any progress? You guys doing anything on that front?
Yeah. So I realized over the weekend that Georgia might actually help New Hampshire a really lot because they have the AccuVote TS systems. They had, which is basically our machines, just a year old, newer. And so basically they went to a Georgia Supreme judge and she said that they had to use them. And then right before the election, a U.S. district federal judge said that they wrote like 9 pages of why these machines were the worst machines in the world. So we're going to file the same lawsuit at Georgia, and we're going to get our machines out. So
that's great. Are you talking to Garland Favorito?
Yes.
That's great. That's fantastic.
Yep. And we're about to have 200 lawsuits that are going to be dropped because mind you, 136 towns sent their memory cards back to LHS, and then Harry Hursty deleted the 4. And then our AG, and then our Secretary of State. Because all this evidence wasn't supposed to be, all the election stuff was supposed to stay for 22 months, and it's all gone. And I think it might be like that for all of New England, Pete.
Yeah, well, here's the next push. You ready? Time to start demanding paper ballots.
Yep.
Paper ballots. That's it. Right?
On it.
Here we go. All right. Marylyn Todd, founder of New Hampshire Voter Integrity Group. You stay strong. Stay strong. We need to get you an attorney. Sue these people, hold them accountable, make them pay like crazy. I mean, that's the only thing that causes them to do the right thing. Just make them pay. And then let's follow the progress of your case. We'll get in touch with you this weekend. I appreciate you coming on for this I'm disturbed by it, Marylyn.
I know.
I'm very disturbed by this. Thank you very much for joining me. Okay. I appreciate
love you guys.
Yeah, we love you
Bye,
too.
Pete.